Hey guys, today we're going to deploy a site using Netlify in 5 minutes or less. To summarize what Netlify does, it is the CD of your CI/CD pipeline. Um, Basically, it connects to your source control, whether that be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and then it will listen for new commits that you make to it. Whenever it detects a new commit, it will run your build command, and based on the static files that are generated off of your build, it'll make those static files available to the internet, available through a web server that it supports and maintains. To get started, the only real requirement for using Netlify is that you have a GitHub account or many of the other source control services out there. But for this example, I recommend it just be GitHub because it's the most ubiquitous one out there and it just makes it very simple. And also that you have a GitHub repository with some kind of a web app already set up. The one I'm going to be showing you is going to be based on a Node, npm, and Yarn repository, and it has a package.json with a build command. So it's really the only requirement is that you have a GitHub account, you have a Git like a repository, a Git repository, and that repository has ability to download and install dependencies and run a build command. So given that you have all the requirements of having a GitHub account, a repository, and some kind of a package.json with a build or a generate command, it should take you less than actually 2 minutes to get started. So for example, I already have a site that I set up before, but I'm gonna go through a new flow of saying new site from Git. I'm gonna select GitHub, and the site that I'm looking for is called Spacedtime app, and I'm going to deploy my master branch. The command that is that I set up is called yarn generate, which will generate my static files, and it creates those files inside a directory called dist. And then I'm gonna click on deploy a site, and technically it's done. All we have to do is wait for Netlify to clone the repository and go through installing Node, installing Yarn, and installing the various dependencies that my application has, and then finalizing it by running the generate command and copying all the static files and making it available through a HTTP addressable domain name. And we'll see this complete very soon. Process will take longer or shorter depending on how big, but once it's done, you'll see a little preview button come up. I can click on this preview. It'll make a deployment ID. So now this is a snapshot of that particular commit and the particular files that it generated. So you can always go back to this and see how your app looked at a given point in time or a given commit in time. And there you go. This is now available. It also supports, if you go back, this is a fake name that it has given to you, and this is what is currently considering your production domain name. If you have a domain name that you bought, you can point it here and you can start using that. But if you don't have one, you can use Netlify's freely given subdomains, and this will always be matched to your production branch. So in my example, I called it master, and that's what I was pointing to. And you also have the option of changing this to something that's like more appropriate for the project that you are working on. So if I go into settings, I can go into domain management, and I can change the site name to Netlify demo 5min. And once that is done, now my site is accessible through this domain name moving forward. It just has to be available because everyone uses this, and it's based on availability. All right, cool. Thank you. you know, subscribe and like this if you enjoyed this video, and you know, wait for my next one. All right, bye.